Welcome back, my lovelies. Now, my next guest is a world-renowned anthropologist. Here, wait a minute. Tandy Newton was an anthropologist too. It's Anthropology Night on The Late Late Show. My next guest is a world-renowned anthropologist who spent much of her life in an Indiana Jones-type adventures going around the world. Her greatest accomplishment has been overcoming a crippling fear of flying, something that affects millions of Americans, including me. So here to discuss how to beat that fear, please welcome Barb MacLeod, everybody. Hello, Barb. How are you?
I'm good. You know,
are you nervous? We're on the ground.
I really appreciate the card.
The card? Oh, I gave you a card. What did I say?
You left a card for me in my dressing room. It said, "Thank God you survived the flight."
Yes. Well, I was. Well, I was a little worried, you know, that you made... Where did you fly in from? Where did you live?
From Austin.
Austin, Texas?
Austin, Texas.
We love Texans on. We have a lot of Texans on this show.
Yay, let's hear it for Texas.
And so, you don't just suddenly become a fear of flying expert. What happened? You're an anthropologist. You study tribes or something?
Well, actually, I study Mayan languages.
Mayan languages.
And I'm an expert on the ancient hieroglyphic writing.
So if I was to suddenly bring out a hieroglyphic symbol, you would know what it was?
I would know what it was.
Right, but I'm not going to, so relax.
Okay.
So... You're an expert in Mayan languages.
I am.
So presumably, then, you have to go to places where there were Mayans.
I certainly did.
And then, do you have to fly to go there?
Well, it's helpful. But I didn't.
Where did Mayans live, by the way? Mayans lived in...
southern Mexico, Central America.
Right.
That's where most of them are.
But they didn't have airports in those days.
They did not have airports in
so
those days.
you have to go to South and Central America to study these people. And
the way I did it was that I took off 5 years and went there.
Took off 5 years from what?
That way I can 5 years from life, 5 years from obligations.
Right.
I spent 5 years in the Peace Corps.
Well, listen, you're a woman of some adventure, then. Well, that's interesting to me. Now, you don't sound... You're not a shrinking violet. It doesn't sound to me like you're scared of anything.
No, I'm not scared of many things at all.
So how did you develop a fear of flying? What happened?
What happened to me is that, first of all, I grew up in a family that was very supportive of me being an adventurer. They said, go out and butt your head against the world and push the envelope. And
Texans.
I did it.
Texans, yeah.
Well, I grew up in St. Louis, actually.
Oh, St. Louis, yeah. Well, I've been there. They like to butt heads, too, yeah.
But it's especially, my mother. Hey, Mom, you know, I mean, she really did a lot of good for me, and she's watching, too. So,
she doesn't bake, for God's sake, does she? No, don't. Listen, we don't need any more baked goods.
No cookies.
No. So you were encouraged to be an adventurer?
Yes, absolutely. I was a feminist when I was in first grade. I mean, there are plenty of stories to tell. But, so I took up caving. I took up cave exploring when I was about 14.
Cave exploring? Cave exploring,
and I grew up in Missouri. And there's lots of caves, and so I got very quickly involved in very serious cave mapping and long-distance
See, this is all
exploring.
dangerous stuff. So how do you suddenly decide that you're frightened of sitting in an airplane eating warm nuts? Well, how did it happen? What occurred to frighten you?
I was actually living in Washington, D.C. I was very actively involved in caving in West Virginia with some friends of mine who were killed in a canoeing accident.
Right.
And there I was, you know, I was 19 years old. I was in a big city, basically alone with no emotional support. And I had been doing some really hardcore, high-risk stuff with these people, and my bubble of immortality just burst.
And so you decided that because that terrible accident happened to your friends...
I felt like I was next.
And so every time you got on a plane,
Well, it didn't quite happen like that. It's like I went through a period of being phobic about everything. I didn't want to go anywhere by any means of transportation.
Right.
I didn't even want to cross the street. I remember one night standing there with a letter on one side of Calvert Street, not wanting to cross, and there were no cars in sight.
So I want to find out then how you get onto an airplane. You get on an airplane, you're terrified of flying, and now you've overcome that.
I've overcome that.
To become a fear of flying expert. How do you overcome a fear of flying?
Well, I can run down a little checklist for you. I can tell you what I did.
What did you do? First
thing I did was I found out about the neurochemistry of anxiety. And I know this sounds very, ivory towerish, but I'm
The neurochemistry. So what happens
Very
within your
interested in that
body
stuff,
when,
you know,
when you're
like
afraid,
what
when you're
happens,
anxious?
What happens to us, how we become sensitized to certain stimuli.
Right.
And then what can you do to outfox this thing that's tricking you? Because, in fact, it's a neurochemical lie.
So what can you do?
It's a scam. Well, you turn around and you trick it back. And there's a lot of tricks that you can use to interrupt this cascade of negative emotion and negative images, you know, terrible, catastrophic images of crashing.
What tricks do you use? You see my point here. I want to know these tricks
Well,
so
here's
I
a
can
trick
use
for
them.
you. I've got a trick up my sleeve right now. It's right here. Put it on.
Oh, it's an elastic band.
Yeah, put it on.
You know, I feel safer
Now.
already. I do. I feel safer already.
That's right. Okay.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
I mean, again, it may be hard to recreate this, but if you were in a state where you were just overwhelmed with images of crashing,
Yes.
you're in a high emotional state, you pull that rubber band back about that far, don't break it,
Yeah.
and you let it go. And just at that moment,
Yes.
now the sting of that will actually interrupt very briefly. It'll sort of shut down the bad program, allow you to reboot the system.
Makes me want to cry. And that'll
then
interrupt the flow of
It
negative...
interrupts the flow of negative images. And the thing is that, of course, the thing's going to come right back again until you practice it quite a bit.
I want to talk to you more about this. We have to take a break. We'll be right back with fear of flying expert Barb MacLeod, everybody. Hello, my lovelies. Now, I'm here having a conversation about fear of flying with Barb MacLeod, but I have to do a little business first. If you're watching this at home, you're missing half the fun. Consider this your personal invitation to join me, TV's Craig Ferguson, in Los Angeles for a taping of The Late Late Show. Of course, you'll have to get yourself to LA and put yourself up. I can't have you all crashing on my couch. Crashing. I can't have you crashing on my couch. That would be inappropriate for you to stay on my couch, and it would be uncomfortable. It's a small couch, it doesn't have room for an audience. But I will get you good tickets if you call us or log on to the website. I'll be waiting for you, my cheeky little monkeys, and we'll be right back with Barb MacLeod, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, my lovely O's. I'm here with fear of flying expert Barb MacLeod. Now, Barb, I want to get some practical tips out of you, what people can do if they're frightened about being on an airplane. What can you do if you're on an airplane, it hits some turbulence, the pilot comes on and says, and you're terrified. What can you actually do in that moment?
Well, if you already know something about turbulence, then you can remind yourself that it's not dangerous.
So learn something about turbulence.
Ahead of time, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have much time to do it kind of in the
Can't
moment.
turn to the person next to you and go, tell me about turbulence, what do you know?
But actually turning to someone, looking at someone who appears comfortable might really help.
Yeah.
Because they're modeling comfort for you. They're clearly okay with it. Now,
Right.
the other thing you could do, rather than sit there and put a death grip on the armrests, is
Right.
rest your hands on your knees like this,
Yeah.
palms up, and close your eyes. You ever done any horseback riding?
Yeah, some.
You know how you're told by your horseback riding instructor that at some point you're supposed to become part of the horse? Doesn't say which part.
I think that may be Western Saddle you're talking about.
Indeed.
But
But the idea is very similar with turbulence. That if you can relax and just kind of roll with it, then you don't experience the increased sensation of swooping and dropping that you get when you tense up. That it's actually easier. It's an easier ride if you just relax.
Yeah.
Nobody loves it because, in fact, we're hardwired to dislike the sensation of falling.
Yes, I do dislike it.
We don't like that. I mean,
That's the thing that really gets me is the turbulence. What is turbulence? What is it anyway?
It's basically the mixing of two streams of air.
Sounds dangerous.
Have you ever watched? No, it's not dangerous at all.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever watched where two creeks come together and how they mix?
Yeah.
You know,
It's bubbly.
basically choppy and bubbly.
Yeah.
Air is a fluid. You know, this turbulence is a nice reminder that air is a fluid.
So, now, did I get it right about you? You overcame your fear of flying by becoming a pilot, is that right?
Not really, no. That was not the sequence. I overcame my fear of flying by being up against the wall, having taken the bus to North Carolina the year before. And, you know, I don't want to run down any bus companies here.
Right,
but,
no, please don't.
Long-distance bus travel makes your body feel like a herd of buffalo has spent the night in your mouth.
Yes. I can achieve the same effect in a much quicker time. Yeah. Yeah. And
so it was such a shameful and exhausting experience that I decided I was going to fly the following year, no matter what happened. And I had not been on a plane.
So you faced your fear.
Hadn't
went
been on a plane
and
for 13 years. So it was a big deal for me.
But you eventually became a pilot, right?
I did. But I faced my fear. I actually got in touch with somebody who helped me get over it.
So, so where should people go? If people are watching this and they're afraid of flying, is there a website or something?
Well, we have a website. Actually, I've been very active in a very innovative website that can put you in touch with lots of links and lots of resources.
What's it called?
It's called Taking Flight. And the URL is www.takingflight.us.
Right.
Come visit us.
Yeah,
it's
go
free.
and do that. I'll be on it right away.
You can lurk there.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I'm terrified of it. It scares me. I'm going to go on this thing. Barb MacLeod, everybody. Thank you so much for coming in, Bob.